All right, everybody, get ready for a deep dive on Hangzhou, China.
Hangzhou.
Hangzhou, you might have heard of it, but
Huh.
we're going to go deeper than those typical tourist blurbs you see. We've got a couple of sources to help us out here.
Sure.
One is from a travel website, flightinghotels.com. And they seem pretty keen on getting people there for, on a budget. And the other is, looks like maybe a travel blog or an article from somebody who's been there.
Yeah.
And by the end of this, you won't just want to go to Hangzhou. You'll be like, how do I get the best deal on a flight to get over there?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that makes Hangzhou really stand out is the way it kind of blends these different aspects. I mean, it's got over 2,000 years of history.
Wow.
But it's also this center for modern technology and business. I mean, this is where Alibaba, like the big e-commerce giant, is based.
Oh, really?
And then right in the middle of all of that, you have this incredibly beautiful natural scenery.
So it's like
It's like a time capsule
Yeah.
that's also plugged into, like, high-speed internet.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of time capsules, let's talk about Westlake. This isn't just any old lake. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Right.
I mean, that means something.
It does.
That's a big deal. UNESCO doesn't just give those out to anybody.
No. It means that there's something there that's considered universally valuable, something that needs to be preserved,
Yeah.
like for all of humanity.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Wow, that's incredible. Our travel blog actually talks about the 10 scenes of Westlake. And, there are a couple that stand out that I want to make sure we touch on. The Lifing Pagoda
Yeah.
and the Broken Bridge. Those sound like pretty essential stops.
They're both very iconic. And if you want the ideal Westlake experience, the article suggests going in spring or autumn.
Okay.
Imagine, the crisp air, the colors, maybe a little mist rising off the water. It's just magical.
So it's not just about the scenery, though, right? I mean, Hangzhou's got to have more going for it than just looking pretty.
Oh, definitely. Hangzhou is a city with lots of layers.
Okay.
You've got Lingyin Temple, for instance, which was founded in 328 AD.
Wow.
It's one of China's most significant Buddhist temples.
Wow. So what makes a Buddhist temple significant? Like, what are we talking about here?
Well, in the case of Lingyin Temple, it played, a crucial role in the development of Chan Buddhism, which is a school of Buddhism that emphasizes meditation and direct experience.
Okay.
And this wasn't just a place of worship. It was a center for learning, for meditation, for a whole way of life, really, for centuries.
Wow.
I mean, monks have been seeking enlightenment within those walls for centuries.
That's incredible. So the article also mentions that we should check out the Filai Feng Grottos,
Yes.
which are near the temple. These are ancient Buddhist sculptures that are carved right into the rock face. Sounds like a pretty,
It's a hidden gem.
it's a hidden gem. Yeah.
Cool. And for any tea lovers out there, Hangzhou is home to the famous Longjing Tea Plantations.
Yay.
I mean, just imagine. It's amazing.
These rolling hills, the aroma of those tea leaves,
The fresh tea.
yeah, I'm already thirsty.
And Longjing tea, which is also known as dragon well tea, is renowned for its delicate, almost sweet flavor with a hint of chestnut.
Oh, wow.
Really, really unique.
I'm sold.
And the article suggests Mivigawa Tea Village as a great place to kind of experience the whole process of,
Right.
from leaf to cup.
Cool. And speaking of, deals.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see why flightinghotels.com is pushing these discounted rates to Hangzhou. We've covered history, nature, spirituality, but what about modern Hangzhou? What is it like day to day?
Well, imagine yourself strolling down Hefang Street, which is this lively pedestrian street.
Okay.
It's packed with all sorts of sensory delights, colorful handicrafts, the aroma of traditional snacks.
Oh, I love street food.
Just pure energy.
Yeah.
It's a great place to find authentic souvenirs and just get a real taste of local life.
And speaking of taste, the article mentions something called beggar's chicken. I'm not sure what that is, but
It's a really interesting dish, actually. The story goes that this beggar stole a chicken,
okay.
and he cooked it in this way to hide it. He wrapped the whole bird in lotus leaves,
Wow.
then covered it in clay and baked it.
Oh, wow.
And what you get is this amazingly tender, flavorful chicken, and it's infused with this subtle aroma of lotus.
Wow.
So it's quite a story,
That's so cool. Now, on the flip side, the article also talks about the Xi National Wetland Park. Sounds like a completely different vibe. We're talking rivers, marshes, like escaping into nature.
Yeah, it's a great escape from the city. And they have a really interesting insider tip in the article. If you're lucky enough to be in Hangzhou during the Dragon Boat Festival, this park is the place to be.
Oh, I love festivals. What's the Dragon Boat Festival all about?
It's a really vibrant celebration. It's been going on for over 2,000 years.
Wow.
And it features these colorful dragon boat races, and they also have these delicious zongzi, which are sticky rice dumplings.
Yeah.
And it just has this really festive atmosphere, very contagious.
My travel bug is officially activated. And we can't talk about Hangzhou without talking about the food, can we?
No, we can't. Hangzhou's food scene is amazing.
Okay, so hit me with the highlights. I'm taking notes.
So the article recommends 3 must-try dishes. First, we have Dongpo pork.
Dongpo pork, okay.
Which is named after Su Dongpo,
okay,
who is a famous Song Dynasty poet.
Oh, wow.
But apparently, he also had a knack for creating delicious dishes.
So like a foodie poet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this dish is basically melt-in-your-mouth braised pork belly. It's so rich and tender and full of flavor.
My mouth is watering already. Okay, what's next?
Next up is Westlake fish in vinegar sauce.
Ooh.
And they use fresh fish from the lake itself. It's cooked in a very delicate sweet and sour sauce.
Okay.
I wonder if they use a specific type of vinegar from the region. You know, something that's been passed down through generations.
Oh, I bet they do. That would be so cool. Okay, so that's 2. What's the third one?
The third one is Hangzhou Shilongbao, which are these amazing soup dumplings. And what makes the Hangzhou version special is the filling. They use a combination of pork, shrimp, and crab meat.
Oh, man. A little surf and turf.
Exactly.
Okay, so remember flightandhotels.com, the travel site we were talking about?
Yes.
It seems like they're a pretty good resource for planning a trip to Hangzhou, especially if you're looking for the best deals.
Yeah, they have all the tools you need.
Yeah.
You know, comparing flights, comparing hotels, finding discounts, booking everything in one place.
That's awesome. Makes it easy.
Takes all the stress out of planning.
So we've gone from just a dot on a map to a pretty vivid picture of Hangzhou. It's got history, it's got culture, it's got beautiful nature, a modern vibe, and food that's just calling my name.
But before we get too carried away planning our trips.
Yeah, let's take a moment to absorb what we've learned. What stands out to you about Hangzhou? What's sparking your curiosity? Well, I think what's really striking me is how Hangzhou seems to seamlessly weave together these seemingly opposite things.
Yeah.
You've got the ancient heritage, but it's also this hotbed for technology and innovation.
Right.
It's both serene and bustling.
It's true. It's a city of paradoxes.
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe that's what makes it so fascinating.
Totally. It's like this perfect blend of old and new, of nature and urban life, of tradition and innovation.
Yeah. It's a city that constantly challenges your expectations.
But, you know, speaking of layers,
yeah,
I'm kind of curious about the arts and culture scene in Hangzhou. Our travel blog, it focused mainly on the attractions, but I have a feeling there's a whole other creative side to the city that we haven't even touched on yet.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hangzhou has a rich artistic heritage. Yeah. I mean, for centuries, it was a center for art, literature, music. Remember, this was the silk capital, a major trading hub. It attracted artists and scholars from all over China.
Oh, wow.
And those silks, the patterns, the colors, they inspired so many poems, paintings, even musical compositions.
So if someone wanted to kind of tap into that artistic side of Hangzhou today, where would they go? Are there any must-visit spots?
Well, the Zhejiang Provincial Museum is a great place to start.
Okay.
It houses a vast collection of artifacts and art from the region, everything from ceramics to calligraphy to textiles.
Wow, I bet that's incredible to see in person.
It really is. It gives you a real sense of the evolution of Hangzhou's art over time.
So what else is on the art itinerary?
Well, you can't miss the China National Silk Museum.
Okay.
Hangzhou's legacy as the silk capital really comes to life there. Imagine seeing these intricate looms,
wow,
learning about the whole silk making process, and then getting to see those exquisite silk garments and tapestries.
I'm adding that to my list.
It's a must-see.
What about contemporary art? Is there room for that in a city with so much history?
Oh, absolutely. The Hangzhou Arts and Crafts Museum showcases a more modern take on creativity. You'll find everything from ceramics to sculpture to furniture to fashion, a real mix of styles.
So Hangzhou embraces both its heritage and the cutting edge.
Exactly. It's a city that's comfortable with that duality.
What about music? Is there like a vibrant music scene in Hangzhou?
Oh, yeah. Hangzhou's music scene is as diverse as the city itself. You can experience traditional Chinese opera, folk music. You can even catch a classical concert at the Hangzhou Grand Theater.
Yeah.
There's really something for everyone.
Wow. You know, I'm getting this sense of energy, this kind of dynamism that runs beneath the surface of those those peaceful landscapes.
I know what you mean.
It's like Hangzhou's humming with creative energy.
Yeah. It's not just a place to relax and reflect. It's a place where ideas are born, where creativity thrives.
You know, we started this deep dive wondering, like, what kind of traveler would be most drawn to Hangzhou? And I think what I'm realizing is that it's not really about a specific type of traveler. It's more about a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It's someone who appreciates the beauty of contrasts, the interplay of old and new, the tranquility and the dynamism.
Absolutely. Hangzhou challenges you to expand your perspective, to embrace the unexpected, to find inspiration in those unlikely places.
Speaking of unexpected, I'm curious about what lies beyond the city limits. I mean, our sources have focused on Hangzhou itself, but I have a feeling there's a whole region waiting to be explored.
Oh, you're right. Hangzhou is like a gateway to some incredible destinations. And one of the most popular excursions is to the water villages.
Water villages. Okay, tell me more.
So picture ancient villages that are built on canals and waterways.
Oh, wow.
You've got charming canals, traditional wooden houses, maybe even a local paddling along in a small boat. It's a glimpse into this slower pace of life, like a world away from the city.
That sounds so peaceful.
It is.
Do you have a favorite water village that you'd recommend?
Well, Wushan is a great choice for a first-timer. It's one of the best preserved water villages, and it offers this beautiful blend of history, culture, and nature. You can take a boat ride along the canals,
Nice.
visit ancient temples, watch traditional performances. It's a really immersive experience.
Okay, Wuzhen's going on the list. Anything else we shouldn't miss in the surrounding area?
Well, we mentioned the Longjing Tea Plantations earlier, but it's really worth emphasizing that a visit to those surrounding hills is a must for anyone who wants to really understand Hangzhou's tea culture.
You're right. It's such an integral part of their identity. It's more than just a drink. It's
a tradition.
Tradition, yeah.
And a trip to those plantations allows you to see that whole process from the cultivation to the brewing.
Wow.
Plus, you get the rolling hills, the fresh air, the scent of the tea leaves. It's an experience for all the senses.
I already feel more relaxed just thinking about it. Are there any other kind of hidden gems in the region that you would recommend?
Well, if you're looking for a mountain escape, Mogachen is worth a visit. It's a resort area known for its beautiful scenery, cool mountain air, and historic villas.
Yeah.
It used to be a popular retreat for foreigners in the early 20th century.
Okay.
And a lot of those villas have been restored and turned into these charming hotels and guest houses.
So it's got a bit of a European vibe mixed in with the Chinese charm. What's there to do in Moganshan?
Well, you can hike through bamboo forests, explore tea plantations, visit waterfalls, or you can just relax and enjoy the fresh air and the views.
Yeah.
It's a great combination of history, nature, and relaxation.
Sounds like the perfect escape from the city heat.
It is.
So I'm starting to realize that Hangzhou isn't just a city, it's a starting point for a whole adventure through Zhejiang Province.
Exactly. It's a hub, a springboard to a region that's so rich in natural beauty, cultural treasures, and really unique experiences.
All right, so we've wandered through Hangzhou's cultural heart, we've ventured beyond the city walls, and I'm ready to book a flight, but...
Yeah. Before I do, let's get practical. What are the essentials for a first-time visitor to Hangzhou? Practicalities are key, right? Yeah. Well, first of all, the best time to visit is in spring or autumn.
Okay.
The weather's perfect then, the scenery is vibrant, and you'll encounter fewer crowds than in the summer months.
That makes sense. What about getting around the city? Is it easy to navigate?
Oh, Hangzhou has an excellent public transportation system.
Good.
The metro is modern and efficient, perfect for getting around the city center.
Okay.
Buses are great for exploring the surrounding areas.
Mm-hmm.
Taxis are readily available as well, but traffic can be a bit heavy during rush hour.
So no need to rent a car?
No, not really.
That's good to know. What about language? Do I need to brush up on my Mandarin?
Well, while English is spoken in many tourist attractions and hotels,
Okay.
learning a few basic Chinese phrases can really enhance your experience.
Sure.
And it's always a good idea to have a translation app handy, just in case.
That's a good point. Even just knowing how to say hello or thank you in the local language can go a long way.
It really can. It shows that you're making an effort.
Are there any other kind of essential tips that you'd recommend?
Well, comfortable walking shoes are a must. You'll be doing a lot of exploring on foot.
Good point.
And pack an umbrella.
Oh, yeah.
Hangzhou can have sudden showers, especially during the rainy season.
Better to be prepared.
No.
So, we've talked about Hangzhou's modern side, the tech hub, the bustling city life, but what about traditional customs? Are there any etiquette tips that we should keep in mind?
Well, Hangzhou is a modern city, but it's still very much rooted in traditional Chinese culture. So it's always respectful to be mindful of local customs.
Yeah.
For example, it's considered polite to remove your shoes before entering someone's home or a temple.
Okay.
Just a small gesture that shows respect.
What about dining etiquette? Anything specific to Hangzhou we should know about?
Well, when dining, it's customary to share dishes.
Okay.
Rather than ordering individual plates. And chopsticks are the preferred utensils, although most restaurants will have forks and knives available if you need them.
That's cool. I love experiencing different dining customs when I travel. It's a great way to immerse yourself.
It is. It's part of the experience.
Any other etiquette tips that come to mind?
It's considered polite to avoid loud talking or shouting in public places.
Okay.
And showing respect for elders and authority figures is very important in Chinese culture. Simple gestures like offering your seat to an older person or using polite forms of address can really go a long way.
Those are great reminders. It's so important to be mindful and respectful of local customs when you travel.
It really is. It makes the experience more positive and meaningful for everyone involved.
I'm feeling more and more prepared for my Hangzhou adventure.
Good. And remember, flightinhotels.com can help you with all the logistical details.
Awesome.
Flights, accommodations, finding the best deals. They can take care of all that, so you can focus on experiencing the culture and making memories.
Perfect. Now we can focus on those breathtaking landscapes, immersing ourselves in the culture, and, of course, trying all that delicious food we've been talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All those incredible flavors.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
But you know what? Before we get too carried away dreaming about Hangzhou, we have one more part to this deep dive. We've explored Hangzhou's past and present, its urban side, and its natural wonders. But there's still something we haven't fully touched on yet.
Oh, there's more. Okay, I'm intrigued.
We'll take a short break to gather our thoughts, and we'll be right back to uncover the final layer of this fascinating city.
I can't wait. Okay, we're back and ready to dive into more of Hangzhou.
Yeah, I'm excited to keep exploring the city.
Me too. So before the break, we were talking about all these different sides of Hangzhou.
Right, the history, the culture, the nature, the modern innovations.
Yeah, it's like this incredible tapestry woven together.
It really is.
But we mentioned Alibaba a couple of times, Hangzhou being their headquarters. And it sounds like there's a much bigger story there.
There is.
What makes Hangzhou such a hub, like a magnet for innovation and entrepreneurship?
Well, it's not just about Alibaba. Hangzhou has this whole ecosystem that kind of fosters innovation.
Okay.
I mean, you've got a highly educated workforce, a government that actively supports entrepreneurship, and this really strong culture of collaboration and risk-taking.
Wow. So it's like this perfect storm of talent, resources, and a forward-thinking mindset.
Yeah, you could say that.
And you can feel that energy when you're in Hangzhou.
Oh, absolutely. It's palpable.
It's in the air. It's like the city's buzzing with new ideas.
Yeah. Hangzhou is definitely not afraid to push boundaries and try new things.
That actually reminds me of something we discussed earlier.
Oh, yeah?
The idea that Hangzhou is a city of contrasts.
Right.
And this entrepreneurial spirit, it kind of fits right in, doesn't it?
It does.
This blend of ancient traditions and cutting-edge innovation.
It's a really fascinating dynamic. Hangzhou doesn't reject its past. It embraces it. But at the same time, it's constantly looking ahead to the future.
It's a city that's comfortable holding these, seemingly opposite forces in tension.
Exactly. And maybe that's where the magic lies.
I'm starting to think that Hangzhou isn't just a destination, it's like a state of mind.
Oh, I like that. How so?
It's about finding balance, embracing contrasts, and being open to new experiences.
That's a great way to put it. Hangzhou challenges you to sort of question your assumptions, to step outside your comfort zone, and to look at the world with fresh eyes.
And who knows, maybe a trip to Hangzhou could spark some new ideas or a new perspective on your own work in life.
That's an intriguing thought. Actually, it makes me think about those delicious dishes we were discussing earlier.
Oh, yeah.
The Dongpo pork, the Westlake fish, those amazing soup dumplings.
Don't even get me started.
Food is another way to connect with a place, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Through its flavors, its aromas, the stories behind each dish. It's about savoring those tastes and the experiences they represent.
It's like experiencing a culture through all your senses.
Exactly. And Hangzhou's food scene is just as diverse and vibrant as the city itself.
Okay, well, I think we've done it. We've gone on a real deep dive into Hangzhou. We've explored the history, the culture, the natural beauty, the innovations, and even the amazing food.
We've peeled back the layers of this fascinating city. From the peaceful shores of Westlake to those lively streets of Hefang Street.
From ancient temples to futuristic tech companies.
And don't forget, flightandhotels.com is there to help you plan your own adventure.
Right. They can handle all the details, making it super easy to experience Hangzhou.
So what are you waiting for? Start planning your trip and discover the magic of Hangzhou for yourself.
Until next time, happy travels.
Okay, so we're back
Yeah.
and ready to wrap up our Hangzhou deep dive.
I know, it's hard to believe we're already here.
I know, it feels like we've just scratched the surface.
There's just so much to explore.
Mm.
Right. But I feel like we've got a pretty good grasp of what makes this city so special.
I think so.
So before the break, we were talking about
Yeah.
all the different facets of Hangzhou.
The contrast.
The contrast,
That's
yeah.
what makes it so interesting.
Exactly.
The blend of old and new, the natural beauty alongside the bustling city.
And we talked about Alibaba and how Hangzhou has become this major tech hub.
Right, a real center for innovation.
So what is it about Hangzhou that attracts all this entrepreneurial energy?
Well, it's not just about one company, it's the whole environment.
The ecosystem.
Exactly. There's this highly educated workforce, a supportive government, and a real culture of collaboration.
They're not afraid to take risks.
Exactly. And you can feel that energy when you're there.
Yeah, it's palpable.
Definitely. You walk down the street and you can sense it in the conversations, the way people approach things.
It's like they're constantly looking for the next big thing.
Always pushing boundaries.
It all comes back to those contrasts we keep talking about.
It does, doesn't it?
That entrepreneurial spirit, it just fits right in with this blend of ancient traditions and modern innovation.
It's this unique mix that you don't find everywhere.
Right. It's like Hangzhou saying, we can honor our past and embrace the future.
Exactly. It's not an either-or situation.
So maybe Hangzhou isn't just a place you visit, but like a way of thinking.
Ooh, I like that.
This idea of balance, being open to new experiences, finding inspiration in the unexpected.
It challenges you to look at things differently.
To step outside your comfort zone.
Maybe a trip to Hangzhou could even spark some new ideas for your own work, or even just your life in general.
That's a cool thought.
Makes you think, right?
This whole conversation makes me think about all that delicious food we talked about.
Oh, yeah, all those flavors.
The Dongpo pork, the Westlake fish.
Those soup dumplings.
Oh, I am so hungry now.
Food is such a powerful way to connect with a place, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's about more than just taste. It's about the experience, the stories behind the dishes.
It's like another layer of exploring the culture.
Exactly. And Hangzhou's food scene is it's incredible. So much to discover.
Well, I think we've done it. We've completed our Hangzhou deep dive.
We've really gone deep.
From history and culture
to natural wonders.
Modern innovation.
And of course, the food.
The food. We can't forget that.
So for anyone listening who's feeling inspired,
and I know you are,
flightandhotels.com is ready to help you plan your trip.
Make it easy to get over there and experience everything Hangzhou has to offer.
So what are you waiting for?
Start planning your adventure today.
Discover the magic of Hangzhou.
Until next time, happy travels, everyone.